Difficulties no longer live. Actually, no, it looks like we are. All right, never mind. We are live. So hopefully the connection lasts and we don't have problems. We'll see. All right. Anyway, so we're talking about the ending of NXT. Trick Williams, the whole thing that happened with CM Punk hitting the go to sleep on Ethan Page. A lot of internet wrestling fans didn't like that. They thought that that was CM Punk burying Ethan Page or maybe stealing Trick Williams' moment. I don't know, but it seems like anything the dude does always gets met with some sort of controversy, whether it's intended to or not.
I mean, honestly, it would be hilarious though if like Ethan Page came out and cost Punk or something. They started a rivalry or something.
Yeah, it'd be a good way to get Ethan Page on the main roster. If
Yeah.
that's the way that they wanted to go. I think as over as Trick is, and I think Trick is going to be a main player for WWE one day. He's so young. I would say that Ethan may be more main roster ready than Trick Williams is. I feel like there's no rush to get Trick Williams up to like a Raw or SmackDown.
Yeah, 100%.
So,
Excuse me. Sorry.
oh, all good. Sorry, I know I made you wait 20 minutes while we figured out connection issues and I let my dog out. So, but apparently that was the trick. I let the dog out and we have a better connection. I don't know what happened, but maybe he was somehow fucking with my internet connection by having to pee. I don't
Yeah.
know. But yeah, so that kind of derailed us a little bit. But yeah, man, all for their debut on the CW, packed arena, Chicago, loud fans, it was very kind of formulaic. Like it's almost like you're going to get a good crowd there, especially when you have CM Punk. But I thought the show was a home run. I'm really excited for the next week's show in St. Louis. You got Randy Orton, you know, performing on the show. You got you're going to have Tony D'Angelo and Oba Femi, which has been a pretty good rivalry that's been built up. I'm looking forward to that. And then, in addition to that, I think they have the tag titles on the line, so they're going to have a pretty big show there too. So
Mhm.
I think it's going to be good. Another big show we got was the AEW fifth anniversary for Dynamite. I'll be honest. So I was trying a different cable service, like trying YouTube TV instead of DirecTV Stream. Unfortunately, I think we're going back to DirecTV Stream, but I forgot to record Dynamite on the YouTube TV, so I picked it up about I in the second hour of it, so I didn't see the entire event. Um, so I didn't get to see the Ricochet and Will Ospreay match, which you know, obviously again dream match, kind of rushed, but you'll have that.
Yeah, and
I
they faced each other so many times before, like I
Yeah.
guess on national TV dream match, but it was rushed. It was just I'll hit this move and then you don't sell it, and I hit the same move and you don't sell it, and then
A lot of
um
that, huh?
I mean, but it wasn't like to me it wasn't corny. It was just kind of like, hey, we're showcasing our athleticism basically. So,
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
but outside of that, I didn't really see the only thing I saw was the segment with Jericho and Briscoe. Did you see the learning tree
No, I didn't.
segment?
I didn't get to see
Okay,
that.
so the funny thing was, my Ava actually came home from band practice and she was eating her dinner. And she was, I was watching it as that segment was going on, and she likes Chris Jericho too. She always has, and she's like, "What is this? Like, what's like this whole gimmick or whatever?" So,
Mm.
but she thought it was hilarious, and um, so basically he called out Briscoe, who is the Ring of Honor World Champ. Um, there was a tag match that recently happened, and Jericho actually pinned him in a match or whatever. So anyway, he called him out. Basically, he's challenging him for the Ring of Honor title because he said there's no more Ocho. It's going to be the Nueve, which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah.
Um, but I tell you what, and I'm sure this was all approved and everything. But man, Jericho got some like it was old school Jericho like in a suit and tie heat when he brought up Jay,
Ooh.
and he said, "You're not as good as your brother." What did he say? He said something like that. He said, "You're not as good as your brother, but your brother's not here." You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it got some like oohs in the crowd or whatever, but it was cool. You know what I mean? But the payoff to the end segment, because Jericho told his guys to stand down, Briscoe told his guys to stand down, and and Mark like decked him, and then that was it. Nothing else happened or whatever. So,
Yeah.
I thought that was like, I mean, it wasn't corny. It was actually kind of like one of those ooh moments, but like, it was like, oh shit, like that's some heel shit. So, I was fine with that segment. You know what I mean? It didn't run long. It was pretty short and sweet. Like Briscoe talked really well in it. And like I said, Jericho's whole stuff and his reaction, and it was like, boom, here we go. So I thought they did a halfway decent job of like, all right, cool. I like to see how this match goes. So
Yeah. And they're doing a decent job of starting to build some stories, and maybe not too long lasting. The one I don't think we mentioned last week was the appearance of MVP. Did you catch that last week?
right,
And then
and
did you see the segment coming up?
yes,
Okay. So in actually I have it pulled up here for anybody that might not have saw it. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring it to the forefront here. But I thought this was interesting. All right. You see it up on the screen?
yep.
All right.
And I thought, what better occasion than to make it tonight, the 5th anniversary of AEW Dynamite. I'd like to take this moment to introduce to you.
Whoa. Last week in New York City, you were talking real spicy about me and Swerve. And you know one thing else? I noticed that
So
a lot of you
clearly,
people walking around
MVP
here
is
in
trying to
AEW, you
draw
forgot something.
some
You
sort of
forgot that Prince Nana used to be a wrestler.
rift between Swerve
That's right.
and Nana.
I'll lace these boots up right here in
But
Pittsburgh,
it seems like he's
Pennsylvania,
kind of
for you.
maybe rebuilding the Hurt
That sounds like
business,
a
right?
complaint. I don't deal with complaints, but he does.
Who?
Oh, look, Poppy
Big pop.
You and the AEW viewing audience, to my business partner and the president of our complaint department, Mr.
Complaint
Shelton.
department.
So yeah, I mean you get the gist of it, but MVP introduces Shelton Benjamin as his complaint department. I thought that was pretty interesting. And man, what do you think about the potential? Would you rather see Swerve maybe feuding with the Hurt Business, or do you want to see Swerve as a member of like a Hurt Business? I don't know if they could call it the Hurt Business. I don't know who owns that trademark, but
It depends if Bobby Lashley shows up.
yeah,
Because,
and I feel
like,
like he probably is going to.
Yeah, and because he's the man, you know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. Like, if they couldn't do a deal with Lashley, then yeah, Swerve,
Yeah.
I would say, be the leader of that group. But no, I mean it's good. I mean it's good for them, and you know what I mean. MVP's always been a good talker,
Yeah.
so we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, and it's the only thing is let's say the Hurt Business comes to AEW and ends up pretty much like it did. We all like. I always liked the Hurt Business. I thought it was a great faction in WWE. Right. Apparently, the powers that be there was something they didn't see. Triple H specifically had the opportunity to maybe bring it back, and he didn't. And a lot was made about that. MVP was very vocal about it. There's been a lot of now. We're getting Triple H's racist stuff. He doesn't like to push black wrestlers and blah 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 blah. Never mind that Trick Williams is the NXT World Champion.
Carmelo Hayes was NXT champ,
and Carmelo Hayes has
R-Truth. R-Truth is like still a major role even at his age, and you know what I mean, like.
So it is what it is. But
Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair are the women's tag champs.
And Bianca
Street
Belair
Profits,
world champion for a very long time. So yeah. Anyway, so it is what it is. That's just people always like to put narratives on things. That's the narrative. But for whatever reason, they kind of felt like the Hurt Business didn't work. So what happens now if it goes to AEW and it falls flat too? Like what's going to be the reasoning then? You know what I mean? Like, is it smart to Vive something that failed in WWE on AEW TV? I guess that's the question that I'm looking at. Like, is it smart to do that? Like, do they really believe like, hey, like this is that good that we should try this again, or would it be better just to go in a completely different angle altogether?
I mean, it would only be good if they, I don't know, like they tweaked it. If that makes sense.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it definitely would have to be tweaked a little bit. So it'd be interesting to see. And obviously, they're not going to get, Cedric Alexander still with WWE, so they're not going to have him. But Bobby Lashley, by all counts, nobody really knows. Like, I've never heard that Bobby Lashley was released. I don't know if maybe his contract expired. But I didn't know that MVP was officially a free agent either. So, but they never renewed his contract, and that's kind of the thing that they're doing now. It's not that they're releasing people; they're just not renewing their contracts when
Right.
their contracts come up. A lot of people thought that that's what was going to happen to AJ Styles. There was a whole lot of talk about how AJ Styles was done with WWE. They weren't going to use him. Creative had nothing for him. And then he was announced that he's coming back on SmackDown this week. So.
I think it's pretty safe to say that, and I'm pretty sure he's even said, like, when he re-signed with WWE how many years ago, like, that was the last contract that they were going to sign. So.
Yeah. Without a doubt. So. But yeah, and then, of course, we talked about it already, but the Okada Bryan match, I mean, it was a decent match. It wasn't, I mean, it was, Bryan seems limited to me. Like, he's telling a story in the ring, but I almost think it's a lot of truth to it. Like, I really think he is in a lot, like, you can tell.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I go back to Shawn Michaels from WrestleMania, was it 13 when he was against Austin, right? Like
14, yeah.
Or 14, yeah. I mean, the look on his face, like, you could tell that he was in a certain amount of pain. Like, different moves that he did, he would sell, like, he would wince a little bit. And I'm seeing that with Bryan, like, specifically when he did the topes to the outside on Okada, like, you could tell, like, the way he cringed up his body. Like, that's not something that you do to sell something in wrestling. That's something that you do legitimately if you're in pain. Like, the way that he kind of tucked himself in, like, in the just the look on his face, like, it looks like a lot of this stuff is difficult for him to pull off. That being said, having him in that long of a match, I don't know if is necessarily a great idea. If you're trying to get some longevity out of what he has left. But I mean, it was a fun match. It was kind of just a dumb concept, though. Like, the whole idea of both titles were on the line, but the Continental title was only on the line for the first 20 minutes. And Tony Khan had already made a big deal about how this match was going to have a long overrun. So you knew it was going to go further than the 20 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, and Bryan's going to win because the whole thing is leading to him and Moxley. So it just kind of seemed like a throwaway match to me, like not something that needed a main event, such a big show. But, it is what it is. It's still two big names, and it was still a good match. Did you watch it at all?
A little bit of it, but the only thing I saw was at the end with Moxley talking to Bryan, and everybody's like, who's he talking about? He's obviously talking about somebody else.
Yeah.
So, the only thing I wanted to mention that I guess was AEW related was, even though it was technically New Japan related, if you saw the promo that Kenny Omega cut with Tanahashi. So it was New Japan programming. Kenny Omega, who looks good, hair is like crazy long, dark, got, full dark beard. But he's sitting there with Tanahashi, who runs basically New Japan now. And, those two were, just like him and Okada, those two were big-time rivals. But Kenny Omega cut this promo in full Japanese and basically saying, if I was cleared tomorrow, I'd be in the ring the next day. Basically saying, like, once I'm cleared, I'm coming for the Young Bucks. And basically challenged the Young Bucks, like him and Tanahashi, to face the Young Bucks or whatever. So it sounds like we're getting close to a return. It's just a matter of when he's fully
When he
medically
is
cleared.
Yeah.
So
The other thing I'm really surprised about is this is the big anniversary show for AEW for Dynamite. Where was MJF?
yeah,
I'm reading through because I admit I didn't watch the first half of it, but I'm reading through all the results and all the segments, and I don't see a single mention of MJF, and I don't see him anywhere on screen at all. He had tweeted out something about the main event, saying that the stipulation, like, oh, that's a hard stipulation, or I don't understand the stipulation, or something like that. But yeah, man, no MJF on the big anniversary show for Dynamite. Like, I was just shocked by
yeah,
that.
interesting.
And maybe he'll be on Collision, I guess, but that's still,
But that's come on.
Dynamite
I mean,
wouldn't have been Dynamite without MJF over the last 5 years. I mean, he's been day one. He's been there. So, it just really surprises me. I was kind of shocked. So, yeah. Anyway, and then on some before we get to the bad blood betting stuff. Just little kudos for AEW, and I'll pop this up on the screen real quick so anybody that watches along with us will be able to see it too if you go back and watch the clip. But and this is Variety.com had posted this article as well as other people. All Elite Wrestling has officially signed a new multi-year rights deal with Warner Brothers Discovery. So the financial terms were not disclosed, but according to sources, the deal is upwards of $150 million per year, with other elements taken into account. And then under the new deal, Dynamite and Collision will remain on TBS and TNT, respectively. But for the first time since it launched, all the programming will also stream live on Max simultaneously. So not only is it going to be on TBS and TNT, it's also going to be live on Max. So anybody that does not have a cable subscription would have the opportunity to watch it being on Max as well. So I thought that was actually kind of cool.
So are they going to have the library?
They have not said that yet.
No, I saw this stuff about pay-per-views, but they said at a discounted rate. But now, does that mean like, even though we have Max, you still have to pay for the pay-per-view?
Yeah, it sounds like maybe you might still have to pay a little something to watch it. So I guess we'll have to see how.
I mean, if it's like half off, if it's like $20 and it's a pay-per-view, it's a card you really want to see, that's not bad.
No, it's not bad. Especially like if we're sharing the account, we can both watch it. You know what I mean? Like if I don't know, but.
Oh, I know. Yeah, like if we want to get together, we'll just split it.
Yeah. Exactly. Or like if one of us buys it, we can give each other a little login or something like that. Log in on, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
So there's different ways. I'm sure we can do that. And I'm wondering too, if you buy it, then how long do you have it available to watch it? Is it always going to be on there, or do you have to go? You know what I mean?
Right.
Is that something you have to go back for? But yeah, it'd be interesting. But kudos to them. I mean, I do trust me. A lot of people shit on one company or the other. I might be critical sometimes of what AEW does, but if you go back and listen to this podcast over the past, however many years, like 5 years that we've been doing it, we've been very critical on WWE over the years as well. It's sometimes if it's not our cup of tea, we might have a problem with it. We might take some issue with it, right? It just is what it is. It's our opinion. It's our cup of tea. It's what we enjoy watching with professional wrestling. I personally prefer watching a more story-based programming, right? But it's not that I want AEW to succeed. I watch AEW. I might be critical of it, but I still will watch it because there is a lot of stuff on there that I do enjoy. I do like watching. So, and for the pro wrestling business in general, it's good to have multiple companies that are succeeding and doing well. So, as much as, and I think, a lot of it though, and I started to think about this today, I think where you find that people want one company or the other to fail, it's those like vocal minority that are just so hardcore that they just like shit on everything that the WWE does, or they will compare everything and talk so negatively about everything WWE, or the people that drive the narrative, like the racist Triple H narrative or whatever it is, like just it's those hardcore fans. It's almost like the same as like why you hate like Alabama, or you know what I mean? Like it's those honk fans that just drive you up a wall. So it's like you almost want to see the company fail because you want those fans to shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? So it's
Well,
like
the thing is, like, at this point, it's like, why would you want anybody to fail?
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the more the better, because think about all these. You know what I mean? Like, if there was only, let's just go back to like, let's face it, there hasn't always been just WWE. Maybe not on the grand scheme of WWE, but there's always been. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know
Yeah.
why sometimes people want just like one thing and everybody else. Like, thank God, like, you know, besides WWE, there's AEW. TNA's doing well. You got the NWA. You know what I mean? Like places for people to go. MLW has been around forever. New Japan. There's all kinds of places around. You know what I mean? Like, why not? Like, you know what I mean? Like, why not have all these places? Especially like I said, and the people that are talent and stuff, they deserve like to be able to. All right, well, if it's not working out here, maybe I'll go here and maybe it'll work out better for me. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah, without doubt. I mean, there's always a different place you can go to learn something new, do something new, and that's always good, man. Like
well,
think
it's
about
just
it,
like,
like
and people getting critical, like, of, oh, all these guys back in the WCW days who ran and got the money. Well, that's not their fault.
yeah,
It's not like, do you think Hulk Hogan reached out to Eric Bischoff and said, hey, brother, this is what I want to come, this is the deal you're going to give me? Like, they reached out to him.
right.
And he said, okay, what deal we got? And well, what is it going to take? All right, cool. Like, that's, you know, nobody should be mad that anybody for wanting to better themselves. It's just like it is now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, like, look at Ricochet. His wife's still there, but he went to AEW because, all right, hey, maybe this, you know what I mean? Maybe it's something he wanted to do. Maybe it's something he needed to do. You know what I mean? Like, so,
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I mean, I get it. It is what it is. Like it's sad that that's kind of the way that people go with it and the way that people take things, and it's just it's yeah. Like if you don't like something, just don't watch it. Watch what you like. That's really all there is to it. But it just is. Both companies can easily coexist, and like you said, it's good to have people like think about it in your profession. If you lose your job and there isn't another company that does the same thing you do, then you're kind of shit out of luck, right? There's nowhere you can
Right.
go to make the money you're making now and do something similar to what you're doing that you have experience in. So it's like that's the same thing for wrestling. Like if a guy stops working with one company, where the fuck's he gonna go? Like somewhere else. Like yeah, the independence, like that's not the same
Right.
experience.
Like,
It's
okay,
like
you work for AT&T. What if AT&T took over and was the only wireless company or any kind of
right.
company of that magnitude, that profession, and then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, well, you know, you don't want to be there anymore because so now it's like, well, shit, I can't go to
Yeah.
Verizon.
Right.
I can't go to Nextel.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
there is no Nextel anymore.
It's just yeah. I mean, but to your point though, like yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like there if there was only one wireless company, especially like now that where I'm at now, I have like a different skill set, so I have other options, I guess. But
Right,
when I
but
was
you know what I'm saying, like,
when I was in sales, like that's if you're in telephone sales and the only telephone sales company is AT&T, then yeah, if Verizon isn't there and something happens and I'm not with AT&T anymore, then kind of shit out of luck. I gotta figure something new out. I gotta start over. So let these guys live. Let who care if you like a particular performer, go watch him on whatever channel he's on and watch and see what he does there. And chances are he'll probably end up one day being back one way or the other.
right.
Like who knows? Cody Rhodes one day could walk back into AEW. Who knows what the future brings, man. Things change all the time. Like it's just be along for the ride. And I think that's part of it too. People just don't like change. Like it's like and it's like WWE and AEW aren't rivals in the same way like your favorite football team is with their rival. It's not like they're leaving the Cleveland Browns to go be a Pittsburgh Steeler. You know what I
And
mean?
here's and let's face it, if there was no AEW, would we ever have gotten CM Punk back in WWE?
Probably not. Well, once Vince was gone, I think the possibilities open up a
Maybe.
little bit more.
But it's hard to say. It's hard to say.
He was on a show with O'Shea Jackson, and he actually talked about his entire experience.
Yes, I watched. I saw the 6-minute clip of it or whatever. Yeah. So
he
that's
talked
insanity.
About how he came in, like he walked into the building without even having a deal, and Bailey was the first person to come up and greet him in Gorilla, and then he couldn't understand what Triple H was asking him to do, so they were going back and forth.
Yeah, he ripped off the headset. He's like, "Oh God, great." The funniest thing that I loved that he said that was Bailey. And Bailey's like, "I fucking knew it. I fucking knew it." As soon as they said clear the hallway, I knew it.
So she took it upon herself to sneak in there.
Yeah,
it's funny. But all right, well, hey, let's kind of switch gears a little bit. I'm going to bring up. So these are the betting odds from Fightful.com. So I'm going to credit Fightful.com for putting them up here. But these are going to be the betting odds for Fightful.com on WWE Bad Blood. So we'll kind of go through the card and talk a little bit about these betting odds. So the first one they have up on here is the Men's World Heavyweight Championship. You got Gunther, which is a minus 10,000. So he's a 1 to 100. So basically what that means is like for every $100 you would win $1 basically. It's how that math works out, right? Am I wrong about that?
Okay.
And then Sammy is a 20 to 1. So that means for every dollar you bet, you can win 20 on Sammy, right? So if Sammy were to win the world title and you put $100 on it, what's 100 times 20?
2,000.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, you could win $2,000 if you bet 100 on Sami Zayn. So that's some pretty good money you could win. I think the safer bet is Gunther, though.
Well, yeah.
Odds suggest Gunther has a 99% chance of winning the championship, which I honestly, man, I think that's pretty dead accurate. That's pretty dead on.
Yes.
I would say that if you wanted to make a couple of bucks, put a couple bucks on Gunther, I wouldn't bet the house on Sami Zayn.
No. Sorry. Sorry.
Yeah. This one's a little bit closer though. So you got Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. So Liv is a 1 to 7 favorite, where Rhea is a 4 to 1 favorite. So neither one are great. But the odds suggest Morgan has an 85% chance of winning. The line opened at negative 250 for Morgan, with Rhea at a plus 170. So the lines kind of moved more. The betting lines moved more in Morgan's favor. So this one's kind of interesting to me, man. Like, Liv is doing some really good things right now. And, I know Rhea, everybody wants to see Rhea get her pound of flesh, get her comeuppance. But I'm wondering if this is the stage that's going to happen, right? We have a big rivalry blowing off with Punk and McIntyre. I'm thinking that the Liv Morgan Rhea Ripley rivalry blows off at a different time. And maybe we still see Liv sneak away with the title somehow.
That's where I'm kind of leaning towards, honestly. I just don't know on this show if that happens. You know what I mean? So I think I'm going to go with Liv.
Okay. All right. So would you put your money then on her winning? So this is what I'm curious about. So this is chances of winning the match, right? So is it leaving as champion, or is it the outcome of the match? So if it's a disqualification and Rhea wins, so do you win the money then because Rhea wins the match? Because I would honestly put some money on Rhea winning the match that way.
I don't know. I think she somehow gets a little cheat, and wins.
Okay, so
Like,
you think Liv gets a 1, 2, 3?
I think Liv gets the 1, 2, 3.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So that would be a 1 to 4. So it's a minus 400. Oh no, sorry, that'd be a minus 700. That's a 1 to 7. So you would. I don't know. I'm bad.
You lost me at 1 to 6 to 4.
I'm bad with these odds. So for every dollar, so for every dollar you wager on Liv, you would win $7, and for every dollar you would wager on Rhea, you would win $4. Basically, is how that would work out.
Yeah, okay.
So
yeah, I'll put 20 on Liv.
Put 20 on Liv. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then women's world champion or the WWE Women's Championship. You got Nia Jax at minus 400, so she's got a 1 to 4, and then Bayley at a 250, so she's a 5 to 2. Nia has an 80% chance of winning. I was a little surprised it was Bayley, not Naomi. That being said, I mean, I don't know. That's a tough one. I would think Nia probably wins again and maybe kind of ends this thing with Bayley a little bit and maybe moves on somewhere else.
Yeah, God. Like, where does Bayley go? Yeah, I'm gonna go with Nia, I guess.
Okay. So again, for Nia, you would have to bet for every dollar you bet, you would win 4. And for Bayley, for every dollar you bet, you would win 5. For every $2 you bet, you would win 5. So that's not enough of a money line to really push it for me. This one is interesting to me. Right now, odds suggest Punk has 90.9% chance winning Hell in the Cell.
Really?
So Punk right now is a one, minus 1,000. So he's a 10. He's a 1 to 10. So for every $10 you bet on Punk, you would only win $1. Where with McIntyre, for every $2 you put, you would win 11. Man, those odds are kind of the betting odds.
Kind of in Drew's favor.
Yeah, like you could potentially win some money with Drew. And I don't think this one's as clear cut as what this stat line is making it. Like, I feel like there's a really good chance that Drew could be the victor out of this whole thing.
Yeah, just because I think there's gonna be something screwy. You know what I mean? Like, I just really something's gonna, whatever the main event is, there's gonna be something big. I just feel like it this week.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, they're definitely paying homage to the original Hell in the Cell, being at Bad Blood. It's back to the normal looking cage. It's not the stupid red or blue or whatever gimmicky bullshit cage that they've had in the past.
That red one, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I get that they're trying to sell merch. Oh, speaking of selling merch, dude, have you been noticing Liv and Dom with that lowrider, and then they do an advertisement for the toy lowrider? Like, what the
Oh my God, no.
I mean, come on, man. Like,
Too great.
like, hey, check out this car. By the way, you can buy this car. Oh, good shit. Anyway. Yeah, man, I don't know. Like, I honestly, I think Punk will probably win, but man, for the betting odds, I might throw 20 on McIntyre to win a couple bucks if he happens to get the win. I feel like that might be kind of a safe, no betting is safe. And, if you're going to gamble,
right,
make sure you do so responsibly and never bet more than what you're willing to lose. But, I don't know, man. I feel like that could be a good one because you got a lot of people putting their money on CM Punk. So, McIntyre might swing it. So the tag team match, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns. Dude, you gotta bet 20 to win 1 for this match with Cody and Roman. Everybody thinks Cody and Roman's going to win this match. The Bloodline, though, they're about 7-1 odds, so they're but so it's an 83% chance winning Cody and Roman. The lines moved a little bit in the Bloodline's favor, but they're still the underdogs. Dude, I could almost see the Bloodline winning just to look stronger and keep that wedge driven between Cody and Roman, or something happening in this match that causes, maybe Kevin Owens gets involved or Randy Orton gets involved. Like something happens in this one that kind of costs it. You know what I mean? Like I feel like this could be a huge.
And especially if this does end up being the main event, then for sure something fucking big's gonna happen.
Well, did you see the clip with McAfee with Cody?
A little bit, yes.
Did you hear what McAfee said to him?
Yeah.
This was like after the fact. So after the interview, they're saying bye. And McAfee goes, so the big man coming back. And Cody was like, which one? And then he's, like he's hinting at maybe The Rock coming back. I think that's what they were hinting at there.
I heard that. I heard Brock Lesnar.
Okay.
I heard Paul Heyman. So,
yeah. So something's happening. It could be. What about Jimmy? Jimmy's still.
Yeah.
We're still waiting on Jimmy to come back. But unless there's something seriously going on with Jimmy, because his dad's asking for prayers for him. So, like,
yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to say. But man, I don't know. I honestly, I bet you this match opens the show. I don't think it's got to be Punk and McIntyre that closes it. It's got to be.
I mean, yeah. I
so
hope so.
If you're putting your money, then would you put it with the Bloodline, or would you put it with Cody and Roman?
It's got to be Cody and Roman.
I want Cody just to be done with the Bloodline stuff for a while. Like until he either faces Rock or faces Roman again. Like I just move him on to something else. Like I mean, I don't know. I guess it. But then we got that cool moment with them at the stadium a couple of weeks ago, and it was awesome. So I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but. And then we got the singles match between Priest and Balor. Like this is a pretty good one, and this one's pretty close. So 83% chance for Priest winning. The line opened up at Priest as a 1-9 favorite and -900, and Balor at a +500. It's moved slightly. It's moved in Balor's favor. This one's a close call, man. It's hard to say. Like I could see either one of them winning the match. I think it's going to be Priest, but then this is another one that it could end in some sort of DQ finish too, and this could move on to another week because I don't think things are going to be over between the two of them after this either.
No, I don't think so either. It's too much still a story to tell, I think, with these guys.
Without a doubt.
But I just
where are you putting your money out with this one?
I'm gonna put it on Balor.
Put it with Balor, 3-1. Okay, I like it. So there's some prop bets here. Check this out. Will Punk or McIntyre bleed? Both is a -75, so it's 4-7 odds. Neither is a 13-5. So that actually surprises me in this era of WWE that neither is gotten basically has a big option here. Like you could win some money if neither one of them bleed. But honestly, like in Hell in a Cell, I feel like it's going to happen accidentally. You know what I mean? And then you got Punk only for +275, Drew for +350. So
I think it's going to be Drew.
You think just Drew? You don't think Punk will bleed?
Yeah, I mean, all the Punk is a good bleeder, but yeah, I could see McIntyre getting busted.
All right. Well, for every $2 you put on it, you could win 7. So you can win some money.
Of course, it depends, though. I mean, if Punk's in the HBK gear, he's gonna gig himself like Sean did. Bad.
Yeah, Sean was the only one who bled in that match.
The funny thing is the spot when he does it, because remember when Undertaker does the slingshot into the cage when they're outside.
Yep.
If you look at Sean on the ground, he's going like this, and I think he was still doing it as he was going up because he
Yeah.
ended up. I mean, he got sliced pretty bad,
Yeah, he did.
but he had to have stitches on the outside and the inside.
Yeah.
So
Jimmy Uso return is a right now it's a yes is a -300, so 1-3 odds that he's going to return. So 66.7% chance of Jimmy Uso returning in Bad Blood. That's interesting.
yeah.
Well, Dominic. Oh, I totally forgot Dominic Mysterio is going to be in the Shark Cage. I meant to ask you about that. How pumped are you that they're doing the Shark Cage angle with Dominic Mysterio?
Oh, come on. I mean, it's freaking golden. Are you kidding me? I love it.
What was the last time they did that with Enzo? Did they do
Yeah,
that with
maybe.
Enzo?
Yeah.
Or James Ellsworth, maybe?
Shark Cage.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's going to be good. So, do you think Dom will escape the Shark Cage? There's a yes is a 5-11, no is a 31-20. So, you make some money saying no if he doesn't escape it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no.
Well, actually, the better money is if he does escape it.
Oh,
yeah.
But I still say no.
I think. I don't know. I'm bad at betting odds, so if I'm wrong, somebody correct me. Odds suggest the 68.8% chance of Dom becoming Houdini.
These are out of hand now.
All right. And then the last one, will Tiffany Stratton cash in her Money in the Bank? There's an 83% chance that Tiffy time not cashing. Odds suggest 83.3% chance Tiffy time not cashing in. So the odds right now are with her not cashing in. But, I mean, they've teased it a little bit, but are they going to continue to tease it, or is it finally going to be the moment? Like, I feel like if no other title changes hands on this show, because Gunther's not going to change hands. Liv and Rhea, that's kind of up in the air. So will Tiffy time be that change, taking it off of Nia? Because let's be honest, Nia doesn't need the championship, right? Like,
No.
I feel like it was a transition to tell the story of eventually Tiffany taking it from her. So is it going to be at Bad Blood, or do you think it's going to be another time?
I could see it being in Bad Blood, just because, like you said, Nia doesn't need the championship, and I don't think we really need the championship on Nia. So
yeah, I think that's something that could really benefit Tiffany. So I'd be for it. And 3-1 odds, like you can make a couple bucks betting on her cashing that in. So
yeah,
I wouldn't
I dig it.
I wouldn't be mad at throwing a couple bucks at that one. So I'd say on this one, that one, and I think both of them bleeding would be a good one, and then maybe putting some money on McIntyre to win the Hell in the Cell match. I think those would probably be your best bets if you want to maybe try and make a few bucks. In my opinion.
Yeah.
I am by no means a gambling expert. I'm not giving any gambling advice. I'm just saying, if I were to put some money on it, those probably would be the ones that I would choose. But I'm not going to put my money on it because I don't have money to gamble right now.
Yeah, I'm not good at gambling, and I have no luck with gambling, so I will not be doing it.
All right, man. Well, hey, let's go ahead and wrap this up. We've already kind of gone over what we typically go over, so I'm ready to call it. I'm sure you're ready to call it. So, hey, thank you guys for listening to this week's episode of the show. It's just Kevin and I. Normally we have Riley on with us, but he wasn't able to join us this week. But you can give us feedback. Let us know what you think by following us on X. It's at Live Your Gimmick. That's the @ symbol followed by LIVYOURGIMMICK. If you're listening to this on Spotify, if you're listening to the audio only version, we'll go live every Thursday that we record. Typically, I'll put the link on X so you can join us if you want. So if you want to see our beautiful faces and see the show, you can join us on YouTube at youtube.com. Just search for Gimmick Minute and go live with us. And hopefully we won't have technical difficulties like we did today. So, but yeah. Anyway, but that being said, For Kevin, my name is Jason, reminding all of you out there in the internet wrestling community to be a fan and always live your gimmick. Goodbye, everybody. See you next week. Got nothing to add. Nothing. Clip side. Cool.
Yep.